Welcome to the show, everybody. And I just can't believe this is our first story, but here we go.
Yeah, we can't get much more uglier than these putzes.
Here we go.
I'm going to come.
So, U.S. and Russian officials agreed to explore the economic and investment opportunities that could arise from their countries from an end to the war in Ukraine. This is after the talks in Saudi Arabia. And it's literally a tectonic shift in Washington's approach to Moscow. So I'm at a loss here. I think
they are too. They're wondering who ordered the cauliflower salads.
They got together to talk about Ukraine and end up announcing that they are restaffing the U.S. and Russian embassies back and forth, and they're now looking forward to economic and investment opportunities.
Oh, brilliant.
So the statements came from the two sides amid concerns in Kyiv and across Europe that Ronald Gump could push for a peace settlement that favors Putin. And no Ukrainian or European officials were present at this meeting. How can you have peace talks about Russia invading Ukraine? It's not a war. Ukraine's defending themselves. Russia is an aggressor, an invader, right? How can you have talks about that without the person being invaded? Right? So Marco Rubio said in a said an agreement had been made to create a high-level team to support Ukraine peace talks and to explore opportunities which will emerge from a successful end to the conflict in Ukraine. How does Ukraine getting its land back and getting an aggressor out of their territory create economic opportunities between Russia and America?
Oh, don't tell me he's going to claim it the 51st state.
52nd. Hey, we're in line first, right?
Yeah.
So, and this is like a total about face from the Biden administration and, trying to isolate Moscow. The talks are in the Saudi capital, and, this is a rapid pace of U.S. efforts to halt the conflict, they're saying. But rising alarm in Kyiv and across Europe, where officials met on Monday to discuss the possibility of sending peacekeeping troops to Ukraine. Lavrov rejected the prospect of such a move on Tuesday. He said the deployment of NATO member troops in Ukraine, even if they were operating under a different flag, was unacceptable to Moscow. Right? He goes on here. We explained to our colleagues today what Putin has repeatedly stressed. Their expansion of NATO, the absorption of Ukraine by North Atlantic Alliance, is a direct threat to the interest of the Russian Federation. Direct threat to our sovereignty. He also rejected a U.S. proposal that Russia and Ukraine halt strikes on each other's energy infrastructure because he claimed that Russia had never endangered Ukraine's civil energy supply.
No, of course not.
How much lies can you put into one thing here? Ukrainian officials were not even invited to the talks. Zelensky was talking with Turkey's president and said his country would not accept the results of talks on how to end the war with Russia that were held behind Ukraine's back. The president told reporters no decision could be made without Kyiv on how to end this war, and he would always reject Putin's ultimatums, which everybody should. This is unbelievable. Trump is just literally undoing his belt and dropping his pants to make sure that Vladimir can say thank you properly. Despite this flurry of diplomacy, little's known about this plan. Nobody knows. And is Russia going to engage without serious concessions? Is the Trump administration prepared to hand Ukraine over to them, at least like a third as they have now, or whatever the real number is? I mean, these meetings have offered almost no clue at all. And the U.S. made several significant concessions to Putin even before the meeting began, indicating that Ukraine would have to abandon its NATO ambitions and accept territorial losses. So this is not a peace plan and any way, shape, or form that Ukrainian citizens and leadership are going to want. But Trump thinks he can literally just pressure them into accepting it because, without our help, you're going to be screwed. This is the worst possible world outlook and world politics and foreign policy and administration could have. This is awful.
Yeah, we always knew that this kind of like shit was coming, but we never thought it'd be quite like this. This is what everyone keeps saying. It says, I didn't think it was going to be great, but I had no idea it was going to be this bad.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody is surprised about how surprised they are.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's not the only shock and awe news out of the Trump administration we have today. So we'll move on to Dunks first here and try to catch our breath.
I'm not too sure I want to. I haven't got the fucking energy anymore. It's just so depressing.
Yeah.
But a woman in the UK, Joyce Esser, who lost her voice due to motor neuron disease, was granted the use of an AI voice technology thingy, but was quickly banned for supposedly using crude language. Well, she is British. She used something from 11 Labs AI tool, which recreated her old voice by analyzing past recordings, allowing her to communicate by typing sentences. Yeah,
that is cool.
Yeah. But Joyce described regaining her voice as an emotional experience, only to be warned for inappropriate language after her device read out a light-hearted remark to her husband. "Come on, honey. Get your ass in gear." Yeah, she said the next day. Next day. Oh, she said something else, but I can't remember what it was now. But it was like fucking,
But deck of yours in gear.
But the next day she was banned entirely. Despite believing her words were harmless British banter. Her account was later reinstated with an apology from 11 Labs, but Joyce remains uncertain about what rule she has violated. The company's policy ban illegal activities, medical advice, impersonation, election interference, but do not clearly define restrictions on language. It's just like, why don't you just put like chains around the woman? He's like, you're not allowed to talk about any of this stuff. Well, it's her voice.
Yeah. We can help you get your voice back, but only on our terms, Grandma.
And only say what we want you to say. Here's a script.
Why does Emperor Jin control so many products these days?
I don't know. I don't get it. But despite the apology, Joyce now uses her AI voice frequently, feeling disappointed that after finally reclaiming her voice, it was almost immediately taken away again. And now she is in fear of being silenced again.
Wow.
It's nuts. Poor dear.
She should be able to tell somebody off all day long. It doesn't matter what rant, raving stuff comes out of her yap. That's her. Shut up about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand how they can even. What? Why? Why do they have to restrict her? I don't even understand that. It's like, is it going to come back to them and say, "Oh, that AI device, that was rude"? No, it was her that said it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what if she liked to talk dirty during sex? I mean, it's over, right?
Oh, dear. I think I'd be using a different AI AI tool.
Yeah, the one that can, anyway,
move on.
Yeah. So, here, I'll give you this for this one. Elon's Doge is seeking access to sensitive taxpayer information within the Internal Revenue Service as part of its investigation into government spending and efficiency. An unusual request that has raised concerns from lawmakers from within the IRS. I hope quite a few. Under pressure from the White House to comply with Doge efforts, the IRS is reportedly considering issuing a memorandum that would give officials broad access to data sets and tax systems, including the integrated data retrieval system, which contains taxpayers' social security number, bank information, returns, and so much more. The memorandum was obtained by the Washington Post. It would give Doge team member Gavin Kligger Big Balls, a 25-year-old software engineer, access to the system while he is based at the IRS for 120 days. Can you imagine? Right? Big Balls is expected to serve as a senior advisor to the acting IRS commissioner to provide engineering assistance and consult on modernizing IT.
Can I interrupt you here?
Yeah.
Now, when Dick is calling him Big Balls, that's not just a name that he's made up. That is the name he goes by on his accounts.
Yeah. This guy calls himself Big Balls on social media because I'm sure they're like he's hung like a squirrel, right? So the IRS, the service responsible for collecting federal taxes and enforcing federal tax law, has become the latest target of Musk. And you got to realize the IRS, they do budgets in the trillions, right? And it's unclear why Big Balls, a political appointee assisting the acting commissioner, would require access to the integrated data retrieval system, which was set up to protect Americans' taxpayer data from falling into the hands of somebody like Big Balls. A source told CNN that the memorandum is expected to be signed imminently. They're handing it right over to Big Balls. They're handing it right over. Is the Trump administration so powerful within the government now that they're just scaring everybody out of fighting back against what are clearly wrong things? So typically only certain IRS employees can access extremely sensitive taxpayer information, and it's always to fulfill very specific tasks. They're not allowed to look at friends and spouses and relatives and so on and whatnot. It's very, very restricted, right? Mark Everson, former IRS commissioner from 2003 until 2007, he said it was absolutely unusual for an appointee like Big Balls to gain access to that system. He says himself, he never saw any of those systems while he was commissioner from 03 to 07. The taxpayer information needs to be protected. And he says he thinks that there are many ways to work on efficiency and look at the very legitimate issues that Musk is supposed to be looking at without going into this particular system at all.
I've also heard rumors that there have already been some data leaks.
Yeah. And, one of there's something I read, but it wasn't enough, right? I couldn't, totally confirm, but there's also the Doge site set up by Musk and the team there has already been hacked because it was so poorly set up. It was like a joke to do.
Oh yeah, it's just like a WordPress site.
Yeah. So Big Balls couldn't do that properly, but don't worry, he's fine with your personal information. Wow.
Oh dear.
Yeah, this is a very slippery slope for what's supposed to be democracy and protection of American citizens, their data, and so on. This is really, really bad. Oh,
yes,
yeah.
I hope those balls are shrinking and disappearing right back.
Yeah. These are not the AC/DC Big Balls. These are the little raisins, right?
Well, when he does finally get arrested, let's say he gets arrested in this kind of manner, because on Valentine's Day, surprise, a police officer in Peru's capital, Lima, carried out a drug raid while wearing a capybara costume. It's great. Video footage going viral on social media shows the officer dressed up as a giant rodent, zeroing in on the suspected drug trafficker. The officer can be seen barging into the house, tackling the accused man to the ground, and putting him in handcuffs. Oh, it just reminds me of Mr. Blobby on BBC.
Sounds like Furry's Gone Wild, man. Is that going to be on VHS?
Police officials stated that more than 1,700 packages of cocaine and marijuana were found during the raid. On this occasion, Valentine's Day, Lover's Day, we sought to camouflage ourselves with the character of the capybara, the unit leader said. Notably, the same unit has previously dressed up their officers as Marvel characters like Spider-Man, Captain America, Thor, and Black Widow, whilst carrying out the drug raid. They should dress up as Lego men.
Speedy Gonzalez. I mean, keep it home, man.
Yeah, absolutely. The agents wear the fancy dress during festivities such as Valentine's Day, Halloween, and Christmas. Yeah, so that you're wearing them during arrests. It's hilarious. What else can I find in this?
That is
It's like, yeah, obviously, the internet has been, rife with replies saying that's one way to maintain your cover. He's an undercover capybara.
So, keep this in mind. If you're the type of person that's so inclined and you happen to find yourself about to snort lines of cocaine with a horse, for example, it might not really be a horse.
Especially if the back end starts talking to the front end.
Yeah.
Also in this article, I should point out there was another thing. It says, also read new frog species named after Hollywood actor Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh, bet he's chuffed.
Wow.
I should have clicked on that one.
That's funny. That's funny. What do they call it? Kermit something?
Leonardo.
Yeah. So here's one about some more bad news. Sorry, but the Trump administration has begun firing several hundred Federal Aviation Administration employees, upending staff on a busy air travel weekend just weeks after, that fatal mid-air collision. Probationary workers were targeted in the very late night emails that went out to employee. Imagine that. You check your email and you find out at like 11 when you're just gotten up to get a couple of Oreos and a glass of milk that you're done for and fired.
You're just checking your latest eBay purchase.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And the impacted workers include personnel hired for FAA radar, landing and navigational aid maintenance. Now, give me a second to get to it. In a message posted to X late Monday, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said fewer than 400 employees were fired and 0 air traffic controllers and critical safety personnel were let go. In a follow-up query, the agency said they would have to look into whether the radar, landing, and navigational aid workers affected were considered, for critical safety functions. Were they doing anything really important, right? So,
no, of course not.
Yeah. So there was a statement here that came out from the FAA there. It was analyzing the effect of the reported federal employee terminations on aviation safety and the aerospace system and the members overall. There was some working on an urgent and classified early warning radar system the Air Force had announced in 2023 for Hawaii to detect incoming cruise missiles. It's through a program that was part funded by the Defense Department and part through, and it's one of the several programs the FAA's National Aerospace System Defense Program manages that involve radars providing long-range detection around the country's borders. So, well done, you idiots. Well done. The Hawaii Radar and the FAA Defense Program Office working on it are about protecting national security. What's his name? Stratlander said, I don't think they even knew what the NDP does. They just thought, oh, no big deal. It's just the FAA. We can fire them. Let's all put on a red hat and have a cigar. And the guy goes on to say, this was about protecting national security. And he says, I'm actually concerned now. The American public should be as well. And it goes on here. The employees were fired without cause, nor based on performance, nor conduct. And the emails were from an exec order Microsoft email address, not a government email address. The email address was ask_AHR_EXEC_orders at usfaa.mail.outlook.com.
Oh, that sounds official.
I know, right? I mean, maybe these people were just done by the text call scammers, right? But there is a shortfall in controllers. They've been raising concerns about this for a while, and these were people that were probationary workers that were coming up through the ranks to fill important roles. So, well done once again, tyrant
Doge.
Trump. Yeah. You guys have just you continuously screw up, and then you turn around and you blame the previous administration. No. They've been gone for a while now. It's on you. Never mind.
Do you remember the guy in Airplane who pulls the cable out, and then all the runway lights go off?
Yeah.
It's like putting him in charge.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand, like the whole thing with the water. There you go. LA now has unlimited water. Well, no, they didn't get any of it, you freaking moron. But, maybe we should have put this in charge, the parrot.
I'll give this a AI language model device thingy. Yeah, because this foul-mouthed parrot at the Chiltern Hotel in Cardiff has become a local celebrity, swearing at punters and even acting as pub security by telling people, "You're barred."
This is hilarious.
Rio, a 2-year-old South American macaw immigrant, has picked up
DEI hire.
Is picked up X-rated language from the regulars and enjoys stealing baubles from people's hats. Landlady Kerry Chapman, 53, bought Rio as a chick and said he was once shy, but was since developed a colourful vocabulary, greeting guests before telling them to fuck off.
I love it.
Regulars, including Joe the Parrot Man, who loves Rio's antics, have even become best friends and even mimics customers' laughs as he tells them to shut up. I think this parrot's autistic.
I think this parrot is going to have that other old woman with the type to speech thing really pissed off. The parrot can swear and I can't.
Yeah, maybe she should just strap a parrot to her. Rio has also built a unique friendship with the pub goers bulldog Chaos. What a great name for a dog.
Yeah,
who was initially wary, but has since warmed up to the mischievous bird. And one regular, Tony, offers banters with Rio, only to be cursed at him in return.
That's funny.
But Mrs. Chapman is considering relocating to another pub, but worries a new pub's clientele may not appreciate Rio's foul mouth. And if she moves, she may have to sell the £4,000 bird. So she insists that he is a stunning, amazing asshole.
Yeah. Look at the plumage.
Does it talk?
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Well, I hope if it ends up happening that the bird gets a good owner, because that's cool, man. The bird gets along with the dog and tells drunks off. I mean, how could you not like that bird?
Yeah, certainly not around here. We tell us all the time.
Yeah, that would get old really quick, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but we are going to have him on as a guest on Pub Chat this coming Sunday, so watch out for that.
Yeah, very much. That'll be cool. We're gonna have to use that. We're gonna have to hack the AI thing so that, but we'll get yeah. So here, we've got the Elon. Okay, so. By now, everybody knows the skit, right? Tom Hanks revisited that character from a Saturday Night Live skit that's total redneck and very much a MAGA person. Well, in the skit this time for the 50th celebration, what's his name that was playing the host of Jeopardy that day, black guy, goes over to shake his hand and he's like, no, I'm not touching you, and it was a very, hard joke at MAGA. Well, Musk lost his shit over it, and people can't believe what a little baby he is, right? So, where is it here? One person wrote, the Tom Hanks and SNL thought it would be hilarious to put on a MAGA hat and act out stereotype of half the country in a desperate attempt to cope with Democrats' crushing defeat in November. Not surprising, nobody watches SNL and blah, blah, right? And another person, after watching Tom Hanks do a sad mockery of me and every other Trump supporter, I know I'll never watch any of his stuff again, right? And, oh, yeah.
Pathetic.
Oh, yeah. So Musk, though, was the big one in this. So his tweet is at Tom Hanks. Hey, pedo.
No.
Yep. PEDO. And then it says not all hashtag MAGA are hat wearing, are not all MAGA hat wearing patriots are white. In fact, most racism comes from the elite Democrats, you asshole. And then Musk retweeted himself with 2 fire emojis.
Oh, dear.
He called him a pedo.
Wow.
Yeah. Right.
Well
so
done, Nazi.
yeah. So then, people are like, why would somebody post about Tom Hanks? And then why would anybody waste their time to repost their own post without any validity to this awful claim? And another was like, prove it, Elon. And another person, schoolyard level retaliatory. Like, it's unbelievable how bad Elon is making himself look at times. And the funny thing is I tried to squeeze it in. I wish I would have grabbed the picture, but there's protests going down across America and in Canada at Tesla dealerships because people are fed up because they look like idiots just because they have a Tesla.
Yeah, just for driving one.
Yeah, the market for used Teslas has dropped in value. People are putting bumper stickers on. I bought this before Elon lost his mind and whatnot. It's there's been vandalism against Tesla cars. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I said it was going to happen.
Yep.
God's sake.
Yeah, let's enough about the pure stupidity, and let's just go to sheer stupidity.
Yeah, back to cars. Now, if you're in the UK, you'll remember the slogan: "You can't get fitter than a quick fit. Can't get quicker than a quick fit fitter." Now it's can't get dicker than a quick fit.
What?
Because a quick fit manager in Dalkeith, Midlothian, has been disciplined for grabbing a sex toy from a customer's car and using it as a microphone for an inappropriate, impromptu, and inappropriate karaoke performance. The incident, which allegedly took place in front of another customer, was caught on camera and led to an internal investigation by QuickFit.
He's singing into a nub rub.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
what if his lips touch it? I mean,
well, the first question is why was it in the car anyway? But let's not go there. But a whistleblower has criticized the manager's behavior, calling it a breach of privacy and trust, adding, how can you trust QuickFit when they're rummaging through your car instead of fixing it? The Dalkeith branch has also faced other controversies, including reports of poorly done repairs and unqualified staff performing safety critical work. Yeah, there's some really strange stuff going on there because a former employee alleged that his name was recorded on jobs while he was away on holiday.
Oh, wow.
And an audit found inconsistencies in wheel alignments. He also claimed a junior staff member was performing tasks that they weren't qualified for and putting customer safety at risk. Yes, QuickFit has responded by confirming an investigation into the manager's conduct, stating that they have taken formal disciplinary action, and they acknowledged service issues, saying affected customers have been contacted and offered free rechecks to ensure their vehicles are safe. They're also getting free tickets to go and see this manager's performing at a new karaoke bar.
Yeah. He's got a new stage name. He's the Nub Rub singer. And oh my God, what a dumb person, man.
What a prick.
There's along this line, just quickly here, up in Canada, we have a retailer, Canadian Tire. They were originally just like a tire service place, and now they've got appliances, and you can buy all kinds of weird stuff. Go there to buy bicycles, but they always have like auto service as well. And there'll be 10 people in there changing oil and doing this and that. None of them is a trained mechanic. Only the supervisor for the floor is. Yeah. So keep that in mind, right? Because you think you've got a real mechanic doing the work on your car, but you've got somebody who just knows how to change oil and whatnot, and they can't recognize that the boot is ripped on your axle and you're gonna, but anyway, right? Yeah. Where am I here next? Where am I? Oh, yeah. So this is some ugly ass shit, man. Humanity, we suck. A Florida man was arrested and charged with 2 counts of attempted murder after shooting at a vehicle with 2 men inside it. He thought they were Palestinians, and they turned out to be Israeli visitors. Now, let me say that again. This guy, just out of the blue, thought he saw 2 Palestinians in a vehicle, and his response is to pull out a gun and start shooting.
Yeah, obviously.
How?
Oh, Jesus.
Right? So the guy's name is Mordecai Braffman, and he was charged with 2 counts of attempted murder. When they booked him, he said that, yeah, I saw 2 people I thought were Palestinian, so I went over and I shot them and I killed them. But he didn't kill them. The victims survived. One was shot in the shoulder and the other had a wounded forearm. So he's also an idiot as well as a abhorrent racist and a killer, right? And
I didn't know that was even like, the fact that he didn't even consider that, that you're not allowed to just like shoot at Palestinians. Yeah. The fact that didn't even cross his mind. He just went, and, they're Palestinians. I shot them. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Society needs a lot of work. And sadly, Florida and a couple of places, you guys keep coming up in the news about this. You really got to do better. You can't have people running around shooting each other.
That asteroid that's supposed to hit us soon? Can we speed it up somehow?
Yeah. And can we get it to, go right
there?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, man. Oh, I hope you're okay. Where are you going next? Oh, nobody knows where you're going next.
yeah. That's literally nobody knows. Yeah, you think that crime is bad? You wait and hear this one, because race runners in Glasgow were sent in the wrong direction after a prankster buried arrow signs and pointed them down a path not part of the trail. Oh, it's insidious. The participants in the race, were sent down the wrong path by a member of the public pretending to be a marshal as well. Yes, the prankster buried arrow signs meant to keep runners on the right track and instead changed the direction of the route with another sign. The organizer, Acorn Trails, said it was left with bitterness, anger, and disappointment after the stunt, and apologized to those taking part. The spokesperson said, aside from being absolutely great day in the race, I'm left with some bitterness and anger and disappointment. Towards the end of the route, a member of the public took it upon themselves to bury a large route arrow and then move a smaller one to change the direction of the route.
Oh, man. Doesn't that actually show that they should have had a few more volunteer staff along the route? Right?
Actually, they do actually say that. Yeah, they say, "We're sorry, they should have had an extra person at that point." This is the funny thing. This is, the pettiness endangered runners, taking them away from the safety of a marked and marshaled course and forced them further into the park.
Where
were
they? The Congo? I mean,
I know you got a picture of the woodland there. You just show the picture. Yeah. Look at the danger! Look at the danger!
Friar Tuck might jump out at me with a chicken leg.
Be careful! You might run into a leaf. Now there are like roads and things, around these parts. They're talking about how, it's not safe. But honestly, God, these are, human beings. And we're not like, do like herding, what do you call those little things? Little furry things that keep jumping off cliffs. You're not throwing
lemmings.
them. You're not throwing lemmings down a line. They're human beings. Yeah. Surely they can figure out what's dangerous in a wood.
Can you imagine? They stand around, they start screaming, "Help, help!" And somebody's like, "Oh, wait, I got a cell phone. Oh, yeah, it turns out that there's a Denny's just over there. We'll just go and get some pancakes."
Yeah, and we can turn around and go back the same way. I mean, the most dangerous thing they're likely to find in there is like porn nailed to a tree.
That was funny too. Oh, man. Where is, I think I have something that can just fill the line here. Yeah. Oh, here. I do have pictures. Sorry, everybody. I lied to you. But there's a picture of the the go home, get out of politics, go steal data on Mars and whatnot. The protests at Tesla's. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But I jumped ahead and I forgot one. Here it is. There we go. So this is the whole freeze on federal spending, right? It's not thawing out for the climate, energy, and environmental programs that were frozen. So 2 federal court orders are now directing the administration to resume distributing those grants and loans, $19 billion in Environmental Protection Agency funding to thousands of state and local governments and nonprofits and stuff. And it's still on hold. Nobody has got it moving yet. Now, I am pretty sure that when the court decides, boom, it doesn't matter that asshole politician says, no, I'm going to do it anyway. You don't go against court orders, no matter who you are. But it's not happening. So critics believe the Trump administration is switching its rhetoric now and labeling the programs as nefarious and fraudulent, right? So because they're not going, they're having to shift a bit because of this court stuff, right? And it's met with a little bit of success because one federal judge last week, just like we reported there, let them grab the $80 million from New York. And I think that was theft. But, and so they can't challenge. This is Jillian Blanchard. She says they can't challenge an entire program based on charges of fraud and waste because that's not how it works, right? If they had actual concerns about fraud or waste, they would, need to follow clear procedures and protocols in the regulations. You can't go, you have to go grant by grant. You can't just wipe out an entire thing. She says the executive does not have the authority to change policies simply because they don't like them, because Congress makes law, not the president, and certainly not Elon Musk. And I couldn't agree more.
No.
There's going to be more and more of these reports, and they're going to get worse and worse. Watch this space. We'll carry some of them, but thanks for watching, everybody. Hit like, share, and subscribe, and leave us a comment on what you thought was the most ridiculous or funny.
Yes, and at the end of this video, if you're watching this, there might be a little teaser to another video you can go and watch. Go watch that one.
Good idea. Do that very much. Click your buttons, people. See you soon.
Bye.